Hey guys, welcome back to Taste of Victory, and today we got a 1.0 gameplay exhibition match for you guys. So this is going to be a bit of an introductory game to help new players going in, and this will be between the deck profiles that were recently done on my channel for English 1.0, which is Nuamon's Red Wargreymon Structure Deck Punch deck, and IMBK's totally yellow, absolutely yellow deck. So they are just setting up security right now, and we're going to start. They are rolling for who will go first, and in Bandai's rules, when you roll, whoever wins the die roll has to go first. It's not a choice, and in this case, someone rolled 6, so they will be starting. The game is ready, whatever they are, and their opponents are drawing, or players are drawing their opening hand where they have to draw 5. So on the first turn, you cannot draw. It looks like Nuamon will be going first. He cannot draw because he's the turn player, and he reveals Koromon. So Koromon, while Digimon has 4 more Digivolution cards, it gets plus 1000 DP. So this card works in this strategy, which is to build up a stack with a bunch of security checks. Koromon, since you're already building a stack instead of skipping levels, Koromon is almost always guaranteed to give you that extra 1000 DP and help you beat over Digimon with high DP and security like Vanilla's, like Phoenixmon. He digivolves into Agumon for the same strategy with that great inheritable of unconditional plus 1000 DP to power up your Digimon for their swings. He'll pass turn with Agumon to give him 3 memory. So that is a lot to give your opponents. So ideally, you want to leave them at 2 to 1 because 3 lets you make a lot of big evolution plays, but it is what it is. My IMBK starts with his totally yellow deck by revealing the purple baby Pagumon when attacking to discard the top card of your deck, which synergizes well with purple because they want things in their trash to fill up the effects of their Digimon and to grab stuff later on from the trash. He evolves into Gabumon for free. When destroyed, draw 1. So again, helps you draw, and it lets you fill up your graveyard, and then, or your trash rather. And then they digivolve into Viomon for 2, putting them at 1 memory. And then they play, which is just your blocker, which is always good to have to block attacks from protect your security. And then they play Tapirmon raw onto the field, which is 3 cost, putting his opponent, Blue Nuamon, at only 2 memory to start with. So Tapirmon is great because when destroyed, draw 1, so it helps replenish your hand. So Nuamon is going to go ahead and swing with their Agumon. They reveal Sukamon and security. Because they have the same amount of DP, they will trade and be destroyed. But he does get that 1 security check, bringing IMBK's life down to 4. So because he hardcasted it probably not had that much value. And it looks like our opponent, it looks like Nuamon has a really rough opening hand. I didn't even notice, I was so focused on commentating, that he has to hardcast his Wargreymon. Now that is something you do not want to see, or even see often in games because it's so bad. So he had, you can only play up to 10 memory. Because his opponent started him at 2, he was able to play the full 12 cost and put him at 10 to play him onto the field. So for every 2 Digivolution cards this Digimon has, it gains 1 security attack. So this is an awful desperation play by Nuamon, just because he didn't have anything better in hand. So we'll see it, but he does have Nuamon, or Omnimon in hand, which when Digivolve destroys something on the field and all the same name copies. So we'll see if that could work out for him in the long run. He swings with Tapirmon, and that reveals Monodramon, who is 3000 security, so that does delete the Tapirmon, making its effect go off to draw 1. So over here, IMBK seems to have a great opening hand because he could hardcast his Repomon for his champion, and then for cheap because it's only 3 cost champion, and then maybe eventually draw into Managramon. And it seems Nuamon is giving them tons of memory to work with, so like 10 is something you never want to give them. But with all this memory, with this great hand, they can just spam all these rookies onto the field now. See, right here, this is 2 Tapirmons, and that is only 6 memory. So now, because of all that memory, and because of all the rookies that are cheap to play in his hand, IMPK can now go wide and start building a board to swing all your security checks at once, instead of building a stack and going tall. So after all these plays, he still has, looks like 4 memory left to work with. So he can play another Gabumon, still leave him at 1, but then the thing comes, and then after that, he could put himself at 1, play Grizzly Wing, and that will start my opponent, or rather, it will start Nuamon off at 1 memory choke, which is what you ideally want to reach every time. So IMBK is in a very fantastic situation right now with no blockers on Nuamon's side. Unless he could draw into 1 immediately next turn, these are all going to swing at their security. So that is the conundrum that Nuamon is facing right now with an unfortunate brick. But he does have 2 Tapirmons on the field. He's banking on, and now he's playing Grizzly Wing, so if I'm not wrong, yep, Tapirmon, he plays another one. So this set himself up perfectly for Onimon. So Onimon is when Digivolving, choose one of your opponent's Digimon and then destroy that Digimon and all of your opponent's Digimon with the same name on the field. So he's going to get a lot of value for this Onimon right now because there are 3 Tapirmons on the field. They will all be destroyed. And now he plays Repomon, starting our opponent off at only 1 memory. So that's fantastic. He's already got 4 bites on board. The thing is, he will have when these are all destroyed, he will get a draw from each one, so basically replenishing his hand for all those plays he made. So we'll have to see how that goes for Nuemon, because that board wipe is advantageous, but gives him a lot of value. And it looks like Nuemon is not going for it, realizing that. He digivolves into Tyrannomon. Tyrannomon is great because for a champion, which normally costs 2 to digivolve, it only costs 1. This lets you play through getting a little bit of memory, as we saw here. Even though he was at 1, he was still able to make additional plays. So he swings with Wargreymon for 12k, reveals Chimeramon in security, which is only 7k, so Wargreymon gets to live. He'll now swing with Dark Tyrannomon for 6k at security. So you have to rest your Digimon to swing at security, and that will reveal a security check. So that is another Chimeramon in security. That unfortunately does destroy his Dark Tyrannomon because it is only 6k, and even if it had a boost from Agumon, that is still only 1k, because Koromon's boost is not active until a stack is 4 or more Digivolution cards. So he does go into Omnimon, pays the full 6 cost memory, giving his opponent, IMBK, a whole 6 memory, but he does wipe off 3 Digimon from their board. But because of the deletion effect, he does get to draw 3, basically replenishing all the advantage he would have, hand advantage that he would have lost there. So he drew 3, and then he drew for turn. He will reveal his Digi-Egg, which you do at the start of every breeding phase. And this one is Yamon. If there are 5 or more cards in their trash, it gets plus 1000 DP to the Digimon it is underneath. So this is fantastic because Purple does not have a lot of DP boosting to swing over big guys on security right now, so it's a nice advantageous rookie to have. Not the best since you want Pokemon to fill up your trash, but it's a good side option. He Digivolves for free into Gabumon, which since inheritable is when destroyed, draw 2, discard 1, so again, good to refill your hand and also fill up your trash. He swings into security with Repamon. So he does have the Magna Angemon now, so there is that. He does swing, and it does survive because Biomon is only 3k DP, while Repamon is 4k. So he does have the Magna Angemon in hand, so he could Digivolve it just to draw. Instead, he will hardcast it because this thing costs only 7 memory. Since he is at 6, that puts our opponent, or his opponent Nuemon, at only 1 memory. And he gets to recover 1 to his security. So even though he was at 2, he is now at 3. And 1 less thing to worry about. And then next turn he could go into Seraphimon, who will recover again, and then check for another 2 securities. With Nuemon only at 3 and 2 other bodies on board, if he doesn't swing over them, that could potentially be game for him. So he swung with Omnimon, and he swung at Repamon because he realizes that possibility, and that he needs to get removing bodies off the board, or else he could lose next turn since he has no blockers in hand, with his very unfortunate opening hand. Because of Omnimon's second effect, when attacking, you can unsuspend this Digimon by returning one of his Digimon's level 6 cards to its hand. He is able to restand it and swing again. This is the power of Omnimon. Not only do you get to wipe boards, but you also get to attack twice in 1 turn, practically like having security attack +1. He does reveal Vilemon, which is only 6k, so there is no worry for him. And then he plays a Gaia Force from hand, 8 whole memories, starting him off at 7, but it removes Magna Angemon. So clearly, IMBK is a great tamer because he watched my video and he knows that Seraphimon is a possibility at any time in this game. And with those security attacks +1, getting rid of Magna Angemon was worth it because that would be enough for to win for game with that Digimon in the racing area if he had Digivolved successfully into that Seraphimon. So now it is IMBK's turn. He moves from the breeding area into the battle area, and that's what you get during the breeding phase. You only get 2 actions. You can either hatch an egg or you can move. And since he already had the rookie, he decided to move this turn. He Digivolves that Gabumon into Wizardmon. Both players' turn if you have a yellow Digimon, Vengeance, which Vengeance does, it destroys the Digimon it was in battle with, so you can swing into that Omnimon right now and destroy it, even though it has lower DP because of Vengeance. He does hardcast Repamon, which is only 3 memory, so he does able to trigger the Vengeance, and his second effect, when destroyed, triggers itself through Vengeance, getting to draw 1, basically refilling the hand advantage he missed out on by playing Repamon right onto the field. He does draw, let's see here. He does draw Heat Viper, then he also gets the draws off the Gabumon Inheritable. Looks like he's going to discard Gabumon since he drew another one anyways, and he has plenty of other rookies in his hand, like Tsukaimon. So that is a lot of great advantage for IMBK right now, showing the advantage of the synergy between purple and yellow with the cards like Wizardmon and the cheap play cost like Repamon. This is a really fun creative deck, and I'm really loving it. So he's going to play Matt Ishida, 4 cost. So 4 cost, so Nuemon will start off at only 2 memory, and when played, return 1 purple option Digimon card from trash to hand. He is currently looking through it right now, and there is 14 cards in that trash, so he has a ton to potentially grab. And it looks like he is going to play grab Grizzly Wing, which I believe is Night Raid in the English. Someone comment, I don't remember off the top of my head. But it might just be Grizzly Wing. But he grabs that, so he'll be able to play cheap rookies next turn if he gets a bunch of memory. And now it is indeed Nuemon's turn after that explosive play. He still got his blocker on the field, so he's not scared at all of that Agumon swinging at any point in this game. He draws for turn, and he does get another Dark Tyranno. He did not have a champion before, so that's good for him. He just Digivolved for free into Monodramon, so another draw to potentially unbrick his hand. He gets another rookie, which is not what he needed right now. He could Digivolve into Dark Tyranno, because that is only one. Another good potential draw to unbrick his hand. There he goes. He goes into it, and he gets Dark, or rather Great Tornado. With one of your Digimon gets plus 2000 DP, gets plus 2000 DP, and security attack plus 1. So he's just going to swing for 6k into security. It does have 7k because of Agumon, so if he blocks with Vilemon, it would be destroyed. Instead, he does let it go through. Security reveals Tapirmon, which is only 2k, and that does not destroy his Dark Tyranno, so he gets to live another turn. He will play Guilmon from hand directly onto the field because there is no other Digitama to Digivolve into. It's already taken up. So that will start our opponent, or rather his opponent, IMBK off with 3 memory, which he would get regardless because of Matt Ishida. Or rather, he started off with 2 because it was a 3 cost at 1, but Matt Ishida's effect, if memory is 2 or less, it becomes 3. So our IMBK will reveal his Digi-Egg, reveals another Yammon, Digivolves into Sukamon, which is its inheritables, get 1 memory when destroyed. So that pairs nicely with, say, a blocker. If you want to destroy a bigger Digimon swinging, you get that extra memory. Really, we gotta give huge props to Numemon for staying in the game so long and looking like he's really turning it around with such a bad opening hand, you know? It's the power of Omnimon. So IMBK is thinking this through. He does have 3 whole memory to work with, so what he could potentially do with no memory tamer on Numemon's field is double Grizzly Wing to start him off with only 1 memory, and then still get really wide board with Tapirmon and whatever other rookie he plays from there. So that was the 1 Grizzly Wing. Will he Digivolve into a blocker? Because blockers cost 2 memory, so that's another way to start him off with only 1 memory. Instead, he doesn't mind giving him more memory and will play Heat Viper. By destroying one of your Digimon, destroy up to 2 of your opponent's level 4 or less Digimon. And since both of Nuemon's Digimon on the field were only level 3, they are both unfortunately destroyed by Heat Viper. And since he targeted the Tapirmon that was on the field, he will draw 1 off of its destruction, so Heat Viper basically replenishes itself in its hand with that Tapirmon combo. That is the amazing synergy that Purple has with their destruction effects. So he moves from the breeding area into the battle area, and then he hardcasted Skullgreymon. On play, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with blocker. So that does let him finally get past his Vilemon, and only starts him off with 3 memory because of how much memory he started him off by using Heat Fight for the previous turn. So Nuemon is really starting to turn this around. Things are starting to look good for him. He has 2 swings on board with only 1 memory, and now IMBK does not have a blocker on the field anymore. It looks like he did not decide to move from the battle area. He did. I missed what happened there, but he drew for turn, and now he is moving into the battle area. He moved the Sukeimon. He does have another Vilemon in hand, I believe, though. So he could Digivolve still into blocker, which is what he will need to survive another turn if he doesn't start swinging with Repamon. He does have that Magnet Angemon, but the recovery is only when played, so when Digivolving over Repamon wouldn't help him here. He does go to that Vilemon over Sukeimon, and it does set up for that combo, you know, that get 1 memory if you block a Digimon with higher DP. But he also needed that blocker to even survive another turn. So we see that IMPK has a lot of options in his hand, but the thing is he needs to start getting things aboard or he won't have another turn to make use of all these options. And there we go. He has the Chimeramon. He will probably destroy his Repamon because it's not really doing too much right now. And now instead he gets to destroy the bigger body on board because on play, when played, Chimeramon destroys one of your other Digimon, and then by destroying one of your other Digimon, destroy one of your opponent's level 5 or less Digimon. Because of this, he gets to destroy Skullgreymon, and now with his blocker on the field, he's able to create a good situation where Numemon no longer has lethal on board. If he had not done that, Numemon would have been able to swing very close to the game, but now he is a lot farther behind because he could just block Vilemon to destroy the Monodramon, and then he could only 1 body wouldn't do anything anyways. So with no Digivolution path in hand, unfortunately there is no champion to go into a champion and then into Metal Tyranno. He will instead have to hardcast the Metal Tyranno for 7, but because of how much memory that IMBK gave him with that 7 cost Chimeramon play, it doesn't set him at too much memory. It actually only starts IMBK with 3 memory, which he would have gotten from his Matt Ishida anyways. So this isn't the worst play by Hardcasting Metal Tyrannomon, who as a champion, or rather as a level 5 ultimate, is very strong with 10k DP. You don't see that too often from these guys at that level. And we see in his hand that he does have the Metal Greymon to Digivolve now. Again, he will not have that Security Attack +1 effect, but being able to get the draw and set up for an Omi is a very strong in and of itself. He swings his security with Chimeramon. He does reveal another 7k level 5 ultimate, so that does destroy his Chimeramon. It didn't look like he had anything to evolve off it though, so it may not be the worst loss in the world. Instead, he will play Grizzly Wing. That will let him play another rookie from hand or from trash for cheap. And we will see what he has to play. He will play Tapirmon. So Tapirmon is great, probably what you always want to get out, because if you just swing it into security expecting it to get deleted, you'll get a draw off. And if you have anything in your hand that needs to be destroyed to use the effect, you get synergy by the draw. He will play another Chimeramon. So we'll see that again where he gets to draw off of his Tapirmon and then gets to destroy his level 5. So this is a really good play by IMBK. He is slowly but surely chipping away at Numamon's tempo and at his security. But because of the cheap cards like Grizzly Wing and always starting at 3 memory with Matt Ishida, he has those resources to keep using cards like Heat Viper, to keep using cards like Chimeramon, and because of that draw effect from Tapirmon, he's able to keep digging for other ones to hopefully get more options to respond to Numamon's field of low-cost Digimon that are level 5 or lower. So he does have 2 rookies on the field, and we see that IMBK does have another Heat Viper in hand, so that could really potentially set Numamon back very far and destroy that field that we're starting to get going again, because if that blocker wasn't on the field, this would be game right now. Yeah, and it looks like Numamon realizes that, so he will hardcast the Gaia Force, destroying the blocker. Sometimes you just really need to get rid of that blocker, even though it seems like kind of a waste to use it on an entire 8-cost Gaia Force on anything other than a Mega. You need to just do what you need to do to push for game, and in this case that was get the blocker off of the field. So he does go into Gabumon, moving him from the breeding area into the battle area. He does not have another blocker on field, so this is potentially very dangerous for IMBK. He swings with Gabumon, 2k to his 2k, so they do trade. He does get this Pagu effect to discard when attacking. So he looks like he will swing, or rather he swung with Chimeramon, it looks like, so it lives. So he needs to start building security to be able to survive another turn. But we see that he does have that Magna Angemon to be able to gain that another security that will keep him out of lethal range, even though he does not have a blocker. And now he has another one, so it looks like the odds of him casting it are very high. He Digivolved first into Wizardmon though, so if it's swinging into security with it, and like Tapirmon, it's when destroyed, you get to draw 1, so it'll replenish itself in hand for that. And he does reveal the 4k cost Greymon, so that does trade with Wizardmon, getting him the draw off of the card's effect, of when destroyed effect. So now he is at 0 security, all but, for what we can see in his hand, IMBK does not have a way to swing for game right now because everything has Summoning Sickness when you play it the first turn you play it. And he does not have anything that restands this Chimeramon on the field, so there's no way to push for game for this turn. So what he needs to do is, yes, hard cast that Magnet Angemon, recover 1, and now because of the Summoning Sickness, Numamon does not have enough Digimon on field to be able to swing for game. So that is huge and crucial. While Numamon himself is at 0 security and with no way to recover, and with, he finally drew a blocker on field, or rather he finally drew a blocker off of that top deck for turn. So he might be able to go into Digivolve for that, but that will not be enough because right now IMBK has 2 Digimon on board, so unless he has a way to remove one of these guys and play the blocker this turn, he simply cannot win. But he has the Great Tornado. Oh, I forgot about the Great Tornado. One of the Digimon gets put on DP. So the risk is here, he has really low DP. So will he even survive this first check? 5k is really not a lot, even with the boost from Great Tornado. So the question is if he'll even be able to survive to get that second check. This is going to be crucial and game swinging for him. So Great Tornado was in his hand this whole time. Matt Ishida, he got it. He lives for the second check. So he does get that on-play effect. The security effect from all Tamers is play this card without paying its cost, and because it is played, he does get that effect to look through his trash and add 1 purple option or 1 purple Digimon card from trash to hand. If I were him in this case, I don't know what I would grab, because you can't go to a blocker since you have no rookie in hand, so he might just grab a rookie. He might also just grab Chimeramon or a Heat Viper right now, and yes, there it is, the Chimeramon looks like what he added. though there is still that one check from the Great Tornado, and there it is. He actually lived anyway, so now with the Monodramon, the second one on the field, he is able to swing for game. I completely forgot that Great Tornado was in his hand, and that is game. What a great comeback Nuamon has done. What an incredibly competitive game from these two amazing competitors. IMPK showed us great ways to play through those hard, rough opening hands, but he did it. He came back from the face of adversity and he won it, man. He tasted victory and he really wanted to secure it. Okay, we are going into game 2. Our opponents are now drawing their opening hands. So we did see that Heat Viper from IMPK in his hand. If he had used that, that would have blown up his board, and then Nuamon wouldn't have been able to use the Great Tornado in the first place to swing for game there. But like that's what happens. Like I was on commentary saying the same thing, go for the Magnet Angemon, you know, in my head. But that's what happens. There's so much to consider in the game, it's hard to keep track. So our opponent, or rather IMPK lost, so he gets to choose who goes first by Digimon rules. He reveals Yammon, unfortunately did not have a rookie to Digivolve into, and hardcast Repomon, starting his opponent Nuamon off at 3. Nuamon reveals Koromon, goes into Agumon, free Digivolve and gets a draw off that, and then goes into Greymon. Nuamon's strategy, of course, is to check as many security as possible with one attack through effects like Greymon. So Greymon is fantastic in this deck because it gives that security attack +1 to increase how much damage you do with one swing. He goes into Metal Greymon. Now the reason this Digimon is used is because when it's inheritable is when blocked, gain 3 memory. So if you're swinging for say 4 security with one attack, you give your opponent a very hard decision of do I block or do I give them 3 memory, or do I just take the hit? And that puts a lot of pressure on your opponent once you got it set up. So IMPK swings at security, it reveals Tyrannomon, which is 6k, and that destroys his Repomon because it was only 3k. He hardcast the Magnet Angemon, which is to say he played it directly onto the field instead of evolving it, and that recovers +1 because of its effect. So he is now at 6 security. In Digimon, there is no limit to the upper amount of security you can have. So now it is IMPK's turn, and he moves from the breeding area into the battle area, and he Digivolves into Volcanic Dramon. So Volcanic Dramon has the on-play effect of delete all of your opponent's Digimon with 4000 DP or less. So you usually see people hardcasting it, but in this case he Digivolves because it synergizes with this deck of security attack +1. So with Greymon, he is checking 3 swings in one right now. So first one was 6k, second one 4k Devimon, third one 6k Vilemon. So since Volcanic Dramon is at 12k through inheritables, he survives all 3 of those checks. So in that one swing, he got 3 checks. So that is the goal of Nuamon's deck. That is the strategy. Build that stack that swings for so much damage with only 1 attack and put pressure on your opponent. So he started off at 2 memory that turn, or rather he had 2 memory after Digivolving into Volcanic Dramon. The advantage of these Monodramons, you see their play cost is only 2, but they're weaker DP vanillas. But the advantage is that they're 2, which means you get more actions per turn. As you see there, he had 3 memory, or rather he had 2 memory. A 3 cost like Agumon would have passed turn if you hardcasted it. But because Monodramon only costs 2, he was able to play it, keep it his turn at 0 memory, and then play another Biomon, getting more actions and more bodies on field with the memory he was given. So IMPK will hardcast another Magnet Angemon, recovering +1 again, putting him at 4 memory instead of only 3. Unfortunately, Volcanic Dramon does check 3 securities, which means this is 5 checks on board right now. So Volcanic Dramon, to be fair, does have to survive that check to be able to get all 3, but at 12k against this hybrid purple build, the odds are very good for Volcanic Dramon to survive. So here comes the swing. 3k checks. Will he survive all of them to get the full value? First one, Chimeramon, only 7k. Easy breezy. Agumon, 2k, and another Agumon, 2k. So he does get all 3 checks here. None of these Digimon have summoning sickness, so they can attack this turn. So Biomon will check security for 3k, putting him down to 0. Will this reveal anything that could save him here? He reveals the Seraphimon, so that does destroy Biomon, but it does not matter because Monodramon is on the field and able to swing. And with the Monodramon swinging for game, that is 0 security. And in a fast game, Nuamon is the winner. 2 in a row. Congratulations to our winner, the hungriest duelist on this channel, Nuamon. Swung with Monodramon for game. What a fantastic build, showing off the pressure this punch deck can do when you get the right draws. So that was a very fun game of Digimon. You can see both of their deck profiles and lists on my channel in the other videos if you want to browse for them. Thank you so much for watching this video, and thank you to Nuamon and IMPK for participating in the Duel on the channel. I had so much fun commentating this. If you guys liked any of the decks on this video and you want to build them, I do have an affiliate link with TCG Player in the description below. I would really appreciate it if you guys use that when you decide to shop on there. It supports the channel. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you guys will stick around for another video. And until then, remember to stay hungry until you get a taste of victory.